So I've seen a few videos floating around talking about the best color in Casual Commander, and there's a little bit of contention as to which color it is exactly, and I'm not trying to throw my hat into that ring. At least not yet. Wink wink, nudge nudge. Instead, I think I'll be tossing out the much more lukewarm take that red is the worst color in EDH, and the even more lukewarm take, that's why I love it. Now, to all the red lovers out there, I mean no disrespect when I say this, but red is just not a color that was designed with Commander format in mind. This color, that's known for the fast-paced, quick, aggro-y, and burn plays, dealing 20 damage as fast as possible, is suddenly hard-checked by being put up against a 120 life pool. But hey, Commander has been around for a long time now, so surely the color has evolved to keep pace. And yes and no. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that red is unplayable, because it's not. But the thing is, if you start designing cards for dealing with 120 life, that becomes infinitely stronger in formats that only have to deal with 20. So as a result of this, red has ended up getting the short end of the stick. Now, when I say all this, I am referring to mono-red decks, and admittedly, monocolored decks of any color are not necessarily the strongest strategies, on account of they don't have other colors to help shore up any weaknesses. Outside of that, I think red makes for a wonderfully splashable color. Red and white team up to make tokens and equipment go crazy. Blue and red get up to some wild spellslinger and artifact shenanigans. Red and black does an incredibly great job at dragging games through the mud. Red and green amplifies the already stompy nature of green with the power and speed of red. And similar things can be said about 3-color combos, and of course, 4-color and up starts to get a little soupy. But what I'm trying to say is that red brings a lot to the table. It just needs a little help to get there. Now, taking a look at the red Game Changer list, we're immediately met with some good cards, but noticeably the smallest amount of any color. However, this is especially sad because pretty much every color has a bunch of heat not on the Game Changer list that didn't quite make the cut, while red got nearly its entire infantry doxed. I mean, for goodness sake, there are only 4 game changers on here, and I don't know what red has that's truly game warping besides these. Maybe Insurrection? But that's more of a finisher than a game changer. I don't know. Now, I'm not saying there's no synergy outside of these cards that make for powerful effects, but just quality powerful cards, this is pretty much all red has. Jeska's Will, Deflecting Swat, and Underworld Breach all 100% deserve to be there, and I understand why Gamble is on the list as we're hitting all the 1-mana tutors. But when you compare it to the power of some of the other 1-mana tutors on the list, you realize, hey, this one's a sorcery instead of an instant. Oh, and it makes you discard a card at random, even potentially the thing you just tutored for. Ew. And that's very reflective of red's state in EDH. But speaking of red, did you know that that's the color of the subscribe button down below that you should hit? Just saying. Anyway, with all that laid out, you might find yourself asking, why would anybody play mono red? And I'm here to give that answer. Because it's awesome! What red lacks in card quality, it makes up for in synergy tenfold. Goblins are an incredibly well-supported type with tons of synergy. Burn amplifiers of all types turn a measly bolt into respectable damage. Looting and filter-based draw enable some fun graveyard strategies. Slicer and Alexios are both here, 2 of the very few viable Commander aggro cards. Dragons are predominantly red, and who doesn't love dragons? Though, dragons have invaded pretty much every color, still, they're a majority red. Chaos practically belongs to red as well. Now, I'm not advocating for running chaotic effects with no end in sight, but just like the rest of red, if built thoughtfully and intentionally, can easily turn into a win. Now, I do want to very quickly address the ginormous elephant in the room, and I've specifically avoided speaking of him until now. Krenko Mob Boss. At the time of writing and recording, he is the 4th most popular commander of all time, and he is mono red. Sauron is right behind him, so he might be playing jump rope with rank 4 or 5 depending on the day. Either way, this seems to go against everything I've just said. In fact, not only is he mono red, but he's the only monocolored commander that breaks the top 10 currently. Sometimes Giada will sneak up there, but that's not the case at this moment. Surely, this proves that not only are monocolor decks viable, but mono red has to be the best. Well, no. Did you really think I was building up to that to agree with that statement? Before we jump to conclusions, let's take a look at the top 100 most popular commanders based on EDHREC data, and narrow down all the monocolored commanders and see where we fall. White has Giada, Font of Hope, ranked number 12 currently. Blue has Urza, Lord High Artificer, ranked number 49. Black has Kirik, Son of Yawgmoth, ranked number 42. Red has Krenko Mob Boss, ranked 4. Magda Brazen Outlaw, ranked 68. And O'Hare Ashenil, Deepest Might, ranked 99th. And green's got nothing. Though Finn the Fangbearer is close. Oh yeah, and I guess if you're counting colorless, Juladok Voidgorger is also up there. Okay, wait. This further proves how good red is, it would seem. But this has to be some sort of fluke. Monocolored decks aren't as popular because you don't get a wide array of cards that you can put in your deck. I mean, Krenko is a busted card and would be at the top no matter what color he was. And Magda is just high because of CEDH. Ashenil probably just earned his spot. But by that logic, Urza and Crick both used to be CEDH decks, even if they're not as good anymore. So even if we discount the CEDH commanders, which I don't think is very fair to do, but we'll do it for the sake of argument. Yup, that still leaves red with 2, white with 1, and blue, black, green tied for 0. And that colorless guy who we won't talk about. Get out of here, Juladok. Alright, let's look at the top 100 as a whole and see what percentage of them include each color in their color identity. And then we end up with 56 have white, 63 have blue, 63 have black, 54 have red, and 54 have green. And 1 colorless commander. I said get, Juladok! There we go! Finally some statistics that leave us with numbers that support our thesis. Print, upload, end of story, right? Well, no, that's not exactly it either, because this just looks at color in a vacuum, and you can't 100% say that these commanders were chosen for their color identities, but probably more so the synergies that the card has. Boy, this is a tricky one to prove either way. Could it possibly be that no one color is inherently better than another in terms of a casual format? I mean, we could potentially judge commanders on their win rate and compare their color identities if we had some way to globally track that. But is winning always the goal in a casual format? I think that varies a lot from person to person. I certainly have my decks where I just want to turn my brain off, turn some creatures sideways at my friends, drink some beer, and have some laughs. Isn't that kind of what this format was founded on? Passing time in between competitive sets with a non-competitive game. Any statistics that we could use to compare colors inherently won't work due to the format's casual nature. Now, we could flip the script and talk about CEDH where blue is currently king, but that's not what I have aimed to tackle in this video. Maybe another time. All this to say, red doesn't suck any more than the rest of the colors. It just has different play styles, and in a casual game where you're just trying to have some fun, maybe make some goblins, do some damage without combat, play some silly artifacts, sling some spells, or cause some chaos, red kinda has you covered. If there's anything you can take away from this video, it's that you should play how you want to play. And maybe some colors are better than others, and maybe they're not. But in a casual format, it shouldn't matter. But those are just my opinions on the topic. Do you disagree? Do you think despite the casual nature of this format, we need to decide what's the best and what's the worst? Feel free to let me know what you think in the comments, and while you're down there, hit the subscribe button, which is red, like my favorite color in Magic. Oh, and don't forget, have a good one.